There are no permanent friends or enemies in politics. It's only interest.
Yeah.
So you never know. And that's why I was saying, you remember I said, a day in politics makes a difference. Isn't it? Something can happen. And all of us will be surprised, isn't it?
Yes.
So, it is never cast in stone. Yeah. The guys have been campaigning. They have been in the field, and one thing I told them is, politics, a day in politics means a lot. My text, I didn't know I was going to get back to that, but when I made a decision, I was not asked by anybody to go and campaign. So many people were even asking me, why can you stay and campaign for the deputy president or campaign for somebody else? And I said, well, I also need to have an opportunity to change my county with my experience. So I want to say, answering my question, I'm not a favorite. Maybe they are the favorite because they have been in the, they were running campaigns. I have not even started as we talk. I haven't.
What this claim that probably the DP favors you over them, all of them?
DP has been my friend, isn't it?
Yes.
And for a long time, we didn't start with DP the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, from 2002, we've been in politics together. I've campaigned. You remember, we are the ones who took him to Ravine to declare for president in the year 2006, isn't it?
Yes.
And I went with him, isn't it? I supported him. The 2007 we went to ODM,
Yes.
isn't it? We went to Wake and I met you, at least you know. I stuck there for 1 month, you see, as a friend, to give him the moral support, isn't it? So it doesn't mean that DP, by that, supports me. He has never come out and say, I support Charles, isn't it? So people should not panic. What we want is a level playground. For me, I believe in competition, and that's what I was saying. Any candidate, for me, is a worthy candidate. Yes, I don't underrate them. But I'm preparing to go and campaign.
Okay.
Yes, because he understands the country very well. He's not somebody young. I mean, he's been in this game. He's grown through the system as an MP all the way to the current position as a deputy president. So I believe that with his experience, he can make a very good president.
Now, of course, you also know Raila Odinga, having worked with him when you were all in ODM. What kind of a president would he be if he was to win the election?
Well, Raila is a worthy competitor. I have no problem with him. He was our candidate in the year 2007. And he's tried, is it 5 or 6 times? Isn't it? I don't know. He's tried.
This will be the 5th.
This will be the 5th. He's a worthy competitor to William Samoei Ruto. Yes.
Okay. Now, along that line again, the other question is, what are your thoughts on Gideon Moi and the impact he might have in Rift Valley?
Well, Gideon is my friend, as you know. But when it comes to politics, I'm always, it's obvious. People even were saying I'm in Kano, isn't it? I don't know his plans. He has not announced that he's running for the president. Isn't it? I don't know. He has not announced.
Is he a factor? Would you consider a factor
in Rift Valley? I think currently William is much ahead.
Okay. Now, until you resigned this week, you are in cabinet. I don't know, how has it been for you in cabinet, given that for some time the president and the DPs have not been seen to eye to eye, and you have also admitted that you are close friends to the DP. How has it been for you in cabinet?
Well, things have been normal. Things have been normal. We've been working very well with my colleagues. I've never had an issue. Even with the president, we've been working very well. Yes, until the day I got out, all of them, we have been communicating, even up to today. We're still communicating. Some who are not around. I've had a cordial relationship with my colleagues because we believe in professionalism. I mean, despite all these things, I mean, everybody has a friend, isn't it? So but at the end of the day, we have a boss, which we are working for. So
that rift between the president and the DP did not manifest itself in the cabinet?
He didn't. He didn't.
Okay.
Well, you see, at that time, being in Senate, I'd served Senate maybe for about 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
It was an opportunity also. I mean, I was not going to an area where I didn't know. I mean, I was in an assistant minister in energy and petroleum before. So when I was given that assignment and by the president, you can't deny some of the appointments by the president. They asked me, "Are you okay?" And then I said, "I will consult my people," and that's why I took up the challenge. I mean, it was to me is a challenge because people were asking me, "You are being appointed to a seat which you can be sacked the next day."
Yeah.
Yet I had a guarantee. I mean, my job was guaranteed for 5 years. So I mean, it's a risk taking. It wasn't easy. I mean, to think about it, but I don't regret. I think I've made a mark, and I'm really grateful for also the exposure. I mean, running the ministry has really given me a lot of exposures. Yes.
Now
That had to happen. Knowing where they have come from, but I'm optimistic that it is not yet too late. They have been friends. I mean, from 2000. I mean, they have come also a long way. If you see the friendship of Uhuru and William, it outweighs the friendship of William and Raila. Because Raila was only, I think, so a few years, when 2007, 8 up to 2010 during the referendum. But you see, William and Uhuru has really come a long way.
so what do you think could have caused that rift?
Well, I think it's the reasons best known to the two of them. For me, I've asked them. None of them, both of them say. Well, I think that was something small. What happened is we were with my colleague from Uganda, the Minister for Energy and Petroleum, and one of the reasons why she came here is wanted to see the line from Lamu, which we flew from Lamu all the way to Hoima. And we wanted to, because then they were also talking about Tanzania. So we wanted to go and see the Tanga port. So when we landed, I mean, our choppers were cleared. I mean, our planes were cleared to land in Tanga. Then when we reached there, the Tanzanians said they can only allow Ugandans. Then they were holding our passports. Because all the passports, when you go, you give it to the migration.
Yeah.
They're holding. So we waited when it was about 5. We wanted to get back because we didn't want to spend the night. So then they were waiting for the senior person. So after about half an hour, they gave us our passports. We left. Yes.
How was that experience for you?
Well, those are experiences you get to know in life. And, at least, we managed it. We didn't want it. It wasn't a big issue. That's why it never became a diplomatic role. It wasn't. We just left it and we moved on. I'm still a minister earning the same salary. I was even privileged to even get the confidential reports even in devolution, of which I was even getting in the Ministry of Energy. Isn't it? So in terms of the pecking order of the devolution, and that's why maybe it has never come. The original Ministry of Local Government was a very strong government. You remember when Mudavadi was there? The father, was it the father? Isn't it? Even Uhuru, the president himself, was the Minister for Local Government. Isn't it? And there was no any other things. He said exactly the same. Isn't it? It's only that the structures have really changed a bit, isn't it? So for me, a ministry is a ministry. You remember when Nyachai was moved from finance to agriculture? He did work, isn't it?
Yes.
When William was moved from agriculture to higher education, he did work, isn't it? So for me, when you are being appointed, when you are employed by somebody, it's like you in nation today. You can be deployed, isn't it? Today you can meet and say we are doing this reorganization, and maybe your expertise is required here. That's why I was asking you. I thought you were carrying things. Why are you? So it has really given me an opener. I'm not going to start as a governor for Kericho, after having been in all my life has been energy as an assistant minister. So going back and I was out of politics, for almost 6 years or 7 years, isn't it? So I'm not going to start new. Already devolution prepared me, isn't it? I have the notes already. I've been reading, isn't it? How are the structures, and already, that has made me to visualize how I want to execute my my leadership to the people of Kericho.
Now, one of the issues affecting counties currently is the delays in disbursement of funds, and you have been at the ministry, and with that experience from the ministry that you are going taking to the ground, I don't know how can that be tackled so that counties get their money on time, and so that the operations do not stall.
I think what we need to do is over-reliance on the revenue sharing formula alone cannot really sustain devolution. We need to look outside the box. We, for the first time, approved the borrowing by Laikipia County government of 1.22 billion to fund infrastructure. That is through a bond. But in essence, all the counties have only been waiting for the national government to collect and then remit, which in essence, even us as a ministry, we've been waiting. We are the same. We've been waiting for that.
Thank you.
Well, I think the companies which are playing the role, to me, the investors in both the Turkana oil and Uganda, I think Total, on the other side, had more influence to push it through Uganda, because they're the ones who are funding, isn't it? But when Talo and the other companies, right now Total has come into Kenya, of course, but not in a big way. Maybe they were seeing the interest, and I think they convinced Uganda. But it is a long route. I mean, it's a long route. You go to almost 2,000 kilometers. Because this one will be 600 to Turkana, the border from Moima, then 800 to Lamu, which is 1,400 kilometers. Growing the business, growing. I mean, there are a lot of things. If you see now, the manufacturing sector is coming up the lower part of Kericho. I mean, bordering Awasi.
Yes.
So I mean, there are a lot of things which we will do. I mean, cultural, sporting activities. I mean, the mainstay of Kericho is also agriculture. We need to grow agriculture into a meaningful, because right now, you see Kericho how it is. It's really a beautiful town, but the state it is, we need to improve. We need to. They say, I think Kericho, we need to bring back the glory of Kericho.
So it's about agriculture, infrastructure,
and also the social dynamics. I mean, there are a lot of activities nowadays. I mean, agriculture, you need to grow agriculture into meaningful in terms of the business.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't change the way it is, tea, coffee, milk, it will be a business as usual. So we need to take it to another level of being making $1 to each pockets of the individuals. We'll analyze the situation as it is, because the tea reforms, I think they are still under the implementation period. I mean, when it was passed by Parliament last year, it's still under implementation. I think the meaningful of it is after 6 months, we should be able to review. I mean, if you see the prices of tea right now, it's not bad. It's above $2, so which means if it continues like that, then of course we need diversification. We cannot be doing black tea. I mean, the markets have really changed. Even if you see purple tea, green tea, I mean, the dynamics of the markets have really changed. I mean, we need to diversify so that tea, from the traditional way of being looked at, is only black tea. You see, you go to any household, tea is black tea, but nowadays you ask which one. Do you need green tea? Do you need what? I mean, people are diversifying to attract markets. I mean, yes.